Welcome everyone to another episode of the Warmup. I'm here with the guys. It's me, Chris Old Faithful. We got Reg, Deuce, and Kev RL in the building. Say what's up to people who are rocking with us this episode, guys.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us.
What's up? What's up?
Cool.
Good.
Cool. Welcome back, Deuce. Man, it's been a minute. You heard you was on some cruises allegedly, but whatever.
Hey, I just be doing stuff, man.
You be dabbling? Okay.
Cruising up and down. On what I do,
Oh, okay.
Not you getting doxxed by the host.
I know, man.
I was just trying to look. People want to be knowing.
Tell Jordan, bro.
When you absent, people want to know.
Man.
So I just want to give you the
Nobody was asking.
Nobody was asking.
Chris can't be my co-defendant.
Why? I'm gonna tell you the truth at the house.
Tell everything.
He was at the house all day. Don't worry about that. I ain't snitching. I mean, we ain't got no pics, so it didn't even happen. So, but it's good, man. Good to see you back. Back in the States, allegedly. So, but
Wait.
You allegedly left the States, or you allegedly came back?
I don't know. It's the thing.
This is not the same background you seen every time I log on.
I never saw that printed before.
I mean, you back in the States today. I'm just saying. When you said you was
redesigned the set.
When you said you was out.
Okay.
When you said you was out, then you could have been off. You could have been off the continent. You could have been somewhere else. You could have been.
So I'm allegedly in the States.
I said allegedly out the States, but
Back.
No, that's not what you said.
Okay.
You said back in the States, allegedly. That's exactly what you said.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. But you know what? I don't know. You know what? He could recreate that. He could recreate that. My point is this. Hey man, are you confirmed in your house? See, we don't know. All right, that's okay. Allegedly,
I can say yes. I can say no. Are you how does that change anything?
It changes everything.
So yes, I am.
Okay, got confirmation. Confirm, guys. Confirm. He's good. So that's it.
Yo, you see how you lean into the wire?
So
a prototype snitch.
So yeah, man.
Is it in your left pocket? Is it in your left pocket?
No, I don't have.
Okay.
I don't have anything. I don't have anything that I need to focus on with direction of my voice.
Yeah, but you grabbed the weapon, right? Like I know you asked me to give it to you, but you used the weapon, right?
No, I wasn't. I was not. I was number one. I had an itch, so I was just trying to relieve myself.
You ain't kill him, but after you did it, he was dead, right?
If they died, I wasn't there when they died, so I don't know.
Let's go, Chris. Please.
So you ain't gonna incriminate me, tell you that much. So, anyways, if this is your first time rocking with us, man, this is a place where we talk about sports, current events, and things in between through the lens of Black culture, man. You can catch us every Wednesday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. Anchor, wherever. And if you're not there, then let us know. We can definitely put it up on there for you, so you don't have to even go outside of your domain. And like I said, we're here every Wednesday. Check us out on social media. We have the new name, the Warmup Pod, for IG and Twitter. It's the same one. And what else? We still have the Reddit, which is Grindhouse Network, and Discord, which is Grindhouse Network, all spelled out. So check us out there. All of the links to those social platforms are in the descriptions or in the bios of the respective platform. So feel free to check us out. Tell a friend if you like what you hear, and feel free to comment, subscribe, follow, do all those things, and engage with us. So we can give you more of what you want. So with that said, anything else you guys want to add before we move on?
Now maybe hit the notes.
Cool. All right, well, let's jump right into it, man. NFL playoffs is among us, man. We just got 3 days of good wild card action. I mean, we started off on Saturday, we ended off on Monday Night Football, and yeah, there was a lot of storylines that were generated. There's a lot of things that happened. There's some crazy comebacks. And yeah, this is what the playoffs are about. It's all any given Sunday. Anyone can take the L. So let's just start off with what happened at the beginning of the. Or was it the beginning? No, it wasn't the beginning. But it was the best thing that happened on Saturday night. I would just say it like that. But the Jags and the Chargers. Well, it just depends on the side. The whoever he was pulling for. One half
for either one of the teams, to be honest.
Let's just say one half. Both teams had a really good half. Let's just say that. We could just say that. they played a good half of a game.
That's fair.
So the Jaguars and the Chargers, man, they went up against each other. It started off as it was ugly for Trevor Lawrence. He was just throwing picks, and they just got down 24-0. I was like, I'm done with this game. And then it certainly turned for the worse for the Chargers. They couldn't score after that. I think they scored one other time, and the Jaguars came back. They came back and they actually hit a game-winning field goal to move on. Huh?
After a 2-point conversion.
After a 2-point conversion, yeah. I mean, there was a couple of breakdowns. Joey Bosa was probably partially to blame for that by having the penalty that put them at the 1 yard line, which gave them the setup for the 2-point conversion. But like I said, it was just things like that, mental mistakes, so bad that the OC, Joe Lombardi for the Chargers was fired. He was like, nah. So man, you can't have one bad game.
Yeah, you can't have a bad half because that first half he was offensive coordinator like a mother.
He was an offensive coordinator. Now he ain't got no job. So, so the Jags moved on, and it was a big news. So let's just start off with you, Reg. Man, how do you feel? Do you think this is a big collapse or a great comeback, or just how you feel about the game in all, in general?
That sounds like it's a big. I want to say it's a big comeback, but I can see how you can paint it as a big collapse. But that's crazy for them to be down first half. Like I was saying, I think I looked at the score. I'm like, oh, these cats not even in there. I think it was like 24-0, 20-0, something like that in the first half. Mm-hmm. Then next thing you know, they just kept mounting and making plays. And next thing you know, they're back in it. For me, I'll call it a big comeback. I'm going to give credit to the team. They did what they needed to do to get to the playoffs. So you always got to give them.
Okay, all right, okay. Kev, how do you feel about that game? What are your thoughts?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was a big comeback because Trevor Lawrence, he wasn't on it in that first half. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if his head was not in the game, maybe needed to warm up. But from what I heard, Jaguars have had some games in the season where they were down and they made these comebacks, so it's not unheard of. But this is a big one. So he did what he did before, and he came back. But also Chargers just the collapse as well. I don't know if it was an offensive end, so I was a little surprised to hear that the OC coordinator got fired. But what about the defense? Like, they also weren't making the stops they were making in the first half. They weren't getting the interceptions they were getting in the first half. So I feel like it was on both sides of the game. Things just started to fall apart. I like to see a good comeback, so I was enjoying it the whole way. I didn't have no dog in the fight, so for me it was just purely entertainment.
It could have been a tense locker room after the game, and it was like, somebody say something else. I swear, somebody say something else, they're getting fired. Something like that. And when you that mad, you gotta follow through.
So you said the OC said something? He was like, it wasn't my fault.
He said something.
Oh, okay. He said, that's that team over there.
4 touchdowns after y'all shut him out in the first half.
Yeah,
and then about the defense? That's strange to me. That's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting take. Deuce, did you have cable? Where you was at?
Yeah, I love the way they channeled the inner Minnesota Vikings for that comeback, man. Mm-hmm. And I like how Trevor Lawrence made that last-minute call to change the play of the line of scrimmage, which speaks volumes, man. He's a second-year quarterback. He have done that under Urban Meyer, where Urban Meyer we've even been at the game. Will he been dancing to somebody's lap? We don't know, man. We're just glad that the Jaguars had this whole change. But with Kev, man, it's a great comeback. Kind of like Reg said, you said, tale of two halves. Great comeback, but it's also a terrible collapse, man. Like, I would love to know, talking about in the locker room, I would love to know what really happened. Like, did they take the foot off the gas because we're up by so large? It's an inexperienced quarterback. We got this, because the Jaguars don't have much respect in the playoff realm, right? They're still newbies in that. They haven't been in there too often. So I'd love to know what happened. Energy levels changed. The play calling did change some. I was glad it happened in the playoffs because all eyes are on it, as opposed to the Vikings comeback, which was wonderful regular season, right? We didn't have as much riding on it as this does.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I think, as I look at the game, maybe it was Trevor Lawrence. Let's just break it down. Trevor Lawrence threw four interceptions that game. I don't see how you guys, as a Chargers team, just could not close the door on this. And again, it came down to just like really boneheaded plays. Whether to me the Joey Bosa thing, that's unexcusable. You shouldn't be throwing a fit to where you're getting penalized after you guys gave up a touchdown. And I think the reason was because he claimed that someone was holding him or something. They didn't call a holding play, I think, on the touchdown play. Mm-hmm. Something like that. And I mean, okay, fine, you can be upset. Don't get a penalty. You just be an idiot at that point.
I feel like that's hard I feel like it's hard to get that in the NFL too. It's not like the NBA. They have a lot more leeway.
Yeah, exactly. You can be upset. Go be upset on the sideline that you made it there successfully. The play, you've successfully, gotten out of that play, the lineup or whatever. So where you don't get those kind of penalties and stuff. So yeah, I mean, we saw Odell Beckham throwing kicking balls in the net because he was out of frustration. So it's not like they care what you do on the sideline. He could have did on the sideline.
Or Tom Brady's various outbursts throughout the season.
Or yeah, and
don't talk about the GOAT. Don't talk about the GOAT.
The vandalism of the Surface Pro. So how he kept throwing that pad. So
that's all I envision when I see Surface Pro. I'm just imagining something.
They should have been there to market a good pad.
Yeah, they need to, because it's bad branding at this point. They gotta make a commercial.
Yo, I ain't never seen any commentator, any analyst get that thing right. There was always an iPad, but when Tom Brady do it, it was a Microsoft Surface. I was like, bro, okay, so y'all do know it.
Hey, Apple could have had that on it.
So, but yeah, so I mean, it was a big breakdown. I mean, the Jaguars played their game. They just stuck to the game plan. So kudos to them. But to me, I'm gonna say this is a big collapse because, like I said, you only scored 3 points in the second half. That's ridiculous. Yep. Based on what? Why? The Jaguar defense wasn't that much of a staunch defense to where you couldn't get a field goal, just a field goal. And you have Keenan Allen, Everett was actually playing well. Yeah, Eckler, leading rushing touchdown getter in the NFL this season. None of y'all can just make it down to get a field goal. That to me seems just yeah, I feel like someone had to go. And sorry, OC, you had 18 and a half good games. You had one half and you guys are out. So now it shouldn't just been him. I think it should also be, defensive side as well, or head coach or someone. It shouldn't just be the offensive coordinator, because at least he got 24 points in the first half or whatever. So
that takes a failure of offense and defense.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. So maybe the head coach just fire him. It all goes up to him. Offense, defense, and special teams. So
you're right.
You get the final say, right? It surprises me sometimes when the coordinator is the one that takes the blame. And
yeah.
Coach ain't gonna fire himself.
I mean, does he have the authority to fire and hire? Is that how it is?
I think they get to pick the staff, right?
Generally speaking, yeah, it's a tandem between them and the GM. They had to have this mutual partnership and collaboration to figure out who the personnel is going to be. So they usually work kind of closely together. Unless you're Bill Belichick and you are the GM and head coach. So then that's the most intimate you can get as far as collaborating. So
breaking news: Belichick fires himself.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that was the game that I think most people were talking about. But before that, earlier in the that day on Saturday, it was the 49ers and the Seahawks. And the 49ers and Seahawks, you know, kind of kicked off this whole wild card weekend in San Francisco, or Santa Clara, if you want to be technical, where there's a bunch of storms and rainy season, you know, which, you know, kind of probably helped make this game a lot closer than it was. And I believe it was closer to the third quarter, where after that it just kind of got blown open by San Francisco. They just made it seem like they were, you know, miles apart as far as competition, and they easily went off and finished up their game with a, what was it, 23-41. So they almost doubled the score of their opponent in that game. So, you know, I'm gonna ask, man, Deuce, I don't know. Let's go with Deuce, man. The 49ers, man, what's your thoughts about that? And are the 49ers the best team in playoffs right now?
That's a good case, man. I think, what was that stat that was going around the season? Opponents who played the 49ers, win or lose, they definitely lose a game after playing the 49ers.
Yes. Yeah, they have a losing record after they play the 49ers.
Yeah. You just gotta think about the 49ers, man. Like, top to bottom, lose. They put Garoppolo on ice. Move to Trey Lance, right? Lose him. Bring Money Jimmy G back. Brings them back to contention status as far as the playoffs. Lose him, and then you got our boy Purdy, right? Purdy.
Mm-hmm. Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant.
Next man up mentality.
Yeah, Mr. Irrelevant, man. Next man up mentality. That coaching staff, man, just from top to bottom, the players they have, that philosophy speaks volumes, and you can see what they're doing. It's like, to your question, I think just playing eye test, I wanted to say, nah, I don't think they're not the most flashy offense, don't have the most stingiest defense, but top to bottom, man, they have to be the most well-coached, balanced team in the NFC. Sure. Yeah, because do I like Dak, but do I trust Dak? Do I trust Purdy? I don't know. But I trust Purdy in that 49ers system and that team more so than I trust Dak, the Dallas scheme, the Dallas team, right? Mm-hmm. So, Chris, to answer your question, they're definitely the most well-balanced team in the NFC for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm good for them. I like that. I like that answer. Reg, how do you feel?
Definitely a tenacious team,
man. Super fan.
Definitely a tenacious team, because season in, season out, you know, whether they've made it the furthest, you know, how far they got, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries like every season. I mean, a lot of teams do, but for them to just keep toughing it out at the main quarterback position, it's almost unheard of for the third guy to be picking it up like this. You haven't been hearing a lot of complaints about Kyle Shanahan's play calling this season. That was a lot of what you heard the past few seasons. So I think the San Francisco team is pretty strong this year. Okay. You said best in the NFL?
In the playoffs right now, yes.
I put it in the NFC. See, he tried.
I said out of the best team in the playoffs is what I asked.
I mean, that's essentially here or there. I would say I don't know about that. I think they're very well poised, and the way they had a very decisive wins, they seem like they're clicking right now. He's getting playoff experience, and you know that's his first wins. That's definitely a bright spot. Is for momentum. I don't know about the best team.
Okay, all right.
You know, Pat Mahomes still out here, bro.
He is. Pat Mahomes is a very good player. He's obviously going to be a Hall of Fame if he continues in this trend, if not already. Yeah, he's pretty good. You know. So,
but do they have the same defense as 49ers?
No.
49ers defense has been like they're number one, right? These points allowed against them.
They are number one. Up there? They're number one in let me see here. They're number 2 in turnovers. Let me see. Defensive leaders. Number 4 in yards allowed. I don't know what the complete number. I know that they do like that offense deep or pass rush and then total. But they're number 4 in. Let me do this.
Yards allowed.
They are number 4 in yards allowed.
Number 1.
That's tough.
4. But that's still high up there.
Lead. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
So they're number 2 in turnovers, number 4 in sacks, Let me see what else they have on this defensive side.
And
So
you know,
far, top five numbers.
based off the Super Bowl last year, like defense wins games. I think they're well poised.
You can make a case.
Yeah.
Definitely make a case.
Still holds true in one league at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you trying to say? What you trying to say?
That ain't gonna win you no games in the NBA. It'll get you there. You definitely need defense, but you gotta be able to tough out through a tough defense.
Oh, okay.
But we'll stick to the football.
Okay. Cool. Kev, how do you feel about the question and the 49ers and the game in general?
I enjoyed the game. You know, I could see all the activity from where I'm from, and that already just put the energy in the air. Like there were red shirts everywhere, so I already know what was going down. It didn't rain though. They got lucky. I don't know what happened. Maybe they
It rained and then it got sunny and then it rained again. It was really weird.
I wouldn't call that rain. It maybe had some sprinkles, but they did something because I'm right next to them, and it wasn't no rain falling to be talking about. So
Was that the day that it hailed out here? It might be that day. It was
a
a very
Saturday.
weird. Yeah, it was a weird weather day that day.
Yeah.
it was decent for the game because it had a nice little sun, but it was also like a little bit of cloudier, so you won't be overheating. But I enjoyed the game from top to bottom. I like a comeback story. So to see, or to say underdog. So to see this guy come from third string and doing what he's doing and performing the way he is, we already talked about the defense throughout the season, so I expected that. But then the offense to still be clicking. Y'all talked about Kyle Shanahan, criticism in the past. How come he still kept his job, by the way? Like if he had all that criticism, but that's not the question.
Ownership believed in him. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's paying off now, right? The system is working. So I think it's a very good case because when you look at every other team, you could probably find something to say that they're lacking. That can be a shot in the foot to stop them from making it all the way. Where Giants, 49ers have this all around goodness in almost every aspect of the game that matters. So I don't know enough to say yes definitively, but I'll say they make a good case. They make a good case to be the top.
Okay. Yeah.
McCaffrey got healthy for y'all, man.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised actually that McCaffrey is still on. He's still healthy, man.
That man has a new leash on life, man. Like after he got released from the Panthers, he was like Super Saiyan Goku, man. Like I'm not mad at him. The Panthers.
Yeah.
I don't know, Kev. The Panthers and the Texans, teams that are missing more than a few things.
They're missing a lot. So yeah, look, I'm gonna answer the question. I know, maybe you guys can call me biased. It's okay, it's whatever. But
I'm glad you already said it out there with it.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna let you guys. I just want to deflate the air out of y'all's rebuttal because I know that y'all gonna say that. Oh, he's just biased. But yeah, they are the best team in the playoffs right now. I mean, yes, the Pat Mahomes are still there. The Philadelphia Eagles are still there. And who else? Who else is in there? The Bills. The Bills are still. Joe Cool is still there. That's totally fine and all that, man.
I have a question for you on your celebratory tour right now. Who do you trust more, Hurts or Purdy?
But Jalen Hurts is injured. He hurt. So I'm gonna go with Brock Purdy. Anything else?
Healthy Purdy.
Hey, well, he's not healthy though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He's not healthy though.
He said playoffs right now.
No, yeah.
So I mean, look, the Philadelphia Eagles are really good. Do you really trust the quarterback back there, not named Jalen Hurts, to drive them to victory? They've lost some games without Jalen Hurts.
His name, man. You had a little cult following season.
You know what? I don't know his name. I'm not even gonna look it up.
Oh man,
it doesn't even matter. He's not as good as Brock Purdy. I'll tell you that much. So, and I mean, it's not even just that. I mean, the defense is always stout. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like top 4, top 3, whatever defense overall. It's not even just that. It's the fact that they're putting up points at like breakneck speed. Like it is Debo or it's McCaffrey. Brock Purdy's looking. He was a little shaken at this game, the beginning of the game, where he was kind of like missing. He just was off sync or was just like missing his guy. But I think after the third quarter, he kind of settled down. It's similar to Trevor Lawrence. It's both their first time in the playoffs, where like the dust settles, you just start playing football. So, Brock Purdy is not. I don't know if he's going to be a superstar or a star. I mean, he's definitely good enough, right, to work in this system. But
he reminds me of Cooper Rush. Was that his name? Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. That sounds like the guy behind the Dallas Cowboys. Talking about Cowboys?
Yeah, I wouldn't say his name was Cooper Rush.
When Dak went down and he had that string.
Yeah.
Purdy's having his run at the perfect time of the season, but I'm not mad at him.
Yeah. So, I mean, part of that's because the run game is so good. Part of that's because, you have ways to like take that pressure off of your quarterback. You don't have to rely on him to win your game. And he can still make plays. He can still make throws. So,
the offensive line is useful.
Offensive line is immaculate right now. Actually, probably not one of the best ones, but they're pretty good. So, it helps when everything is going well as far as like everyone's on the same wavelength. This is the reason why I say like I think they're probably the best team in the NFL right now, in the playoffs right now. Only because not only can they put up points in bunches, like they just scored 41 points. I think they scored the most points they scored the most points in the playoffs so far, right? So these are all, Mahomes didn't play yet, but like Buffalo played. Who else played? Bengals played. Giants had,
I said Buffalo was strange, but we talk about that.
Yeah. So I mean, aside from Philadelphia and Mahomes, who I mean, obviously they can put up points. Like I said, they just find a ways to score in bunches and to slow you down to like keep you to back about 17 points in a game. So why wouldn't I think they're the best? But anyways, that's because I'm probably because I'm biased.
Here's my question before you jump ship on that, man. I think Von Miller of the Rams last year, right, and McCaffrey of the Niners this year.
Mm-hmm.
And which offseason? Well, oh wow, no, ooh, because McCaffrey was a trade. He was in season.
Mid-season, yeah.
The Rams got Von Miller. They had a whole offseason with him.
No. Von Miller got traded. Von Miller got traded in the middle of the season.
Oh yeah.
To
the Rams.
The Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Which trade do you think was more beneficial for that team? Like, assume the Niners win the Super Bowl.
Von Miller.
They won the Super Bowl.
Von Miller. Obviously.
If the Niners win, say the Niners win the Super Bowl,
Von Miller.
Still Von Miller over McCaffrey?
Yeah. Only reason I said this because McCaffrey is obviously a good asset. I mean, obviously he can be one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the NFL whenever he's healthy, right? So it's not a knock to him. The issue is, or like the thing that I'm splitting the hairs on essentially is, how does that elevate your team? And for Von Miller, and the same thing for the Buffalo Bills, when he's on the field, like their defense just skyrockets. It's almost unstoppable because he's just so good. He's destructive in Denver. He was destructive in Denver. I mean, he carried Peyton Manning essentially to a championship with his defense, and then he came over to the Rams, destructive front line with him and Aaron Donald, and then he went to the Bills before he got injured, and they will have one of the best defensive teams this year. So I'm gonna always say Von Miller. I like McCaffrey, but we also know that San Francisco likes to have a stable of running backs, and every year there's these people who you don't even know, third string running backs who become household names because Kyle Shanahan, for all of his faults, for his faults that he does have, he's really good at making running backs shine because his offensive schemes and playmaking, it allows for them to shine. Mostert, Elijah Mitchell, who else did he give? Not Kenyon Drake. I forget the other ones. He goes through at least 3 running backs a year, and it's always the second or third one that pops up, right? So
that's a really good point.
So yeah, I'm gonna say Von Miller, but again, you may think I'm biased.
No, the playmaking, like he makes big plays. He's a presence on the field. The impact is felt. It's not a system thing. You can't just say, "Oh, the defense is good." You could put any like you can with the 49ers.
Yeah.
So, he's just a different. I mean, the Broncos defense, that Super Bowl, coming coming over to the Rams and what he did for the no, you're right.
Yeah. So
I agree with that.
So, all right, let's go ahead and put a pin in that, and we can move on to Sunday's games, which started off with the Bills and the Miami Dolphins, where the Miami Dolphins, where it was again one of these things where you just see it's gonna be really lopsided. Buffalo ended up started off I think 17-0 before the end of the closeout of the second quarter. And then during the second quarter was when the Miami Dolphins started to kind of like get into the rhythm. I don't remember the guy named Statham, the quarterback. You know, he was having a hard time with the Bills, but he finally got some passes off to where he was able to equal the level of the playing field. But essentially, this became a really tough game, a close game actually for the Bills and the Dolphins, to the point to where it could have went either way. Like I said, the game ended up being 31-34, and it could have easily went Dolphins' way, you know. But like I said, it was once they got caught up, it was back and forth, you know, as far as like lead changes and everything. Josh Allen had to step up. Their running game finally did something, and you know, they were finally able to hold off on the Dolphins. But like I said, this is a classic division game almost. Like, this is just what you would expect from a division rival. So yeah, I mean, I'll start with you, Reg, man. What are your thoughts on this game, and do you think that Josh Allen is going to be able to win a Super Bowl before Joe Burrow? That's a really good question.
I think Josh Allen could win the Super Bowl with Joe. I mean, good game, good effort from the Dolphins, but you know, they got to us late in the season again, so I can see why they didn't win. Even with Tyreek Hill, they obviously put up a lot of points, but it is what it is, man. You don't have your starting quarterback like this late in the game. Like, I don't think he had that much time to adjust. Like, Tua went down, like, what, 2 games ago?
He went down to either 2 or 3 games ago. I want to say 3 games ago. But yeah, it was close. Yeah, right before the playoffs.
But they played something good on him though, right? When he went down with the first concussion?
Yeah, the first time. But I mean, he was back for a good minute after he came back from the first set of concussions.
Yeah, he came back.
You mean the time that he was out, the Bengals game? Because the Bengals game was the first time he went down and he was out. Like, that was when it caught everyone's attention. The week before that was
the first one. He came back and played the second game, Bengals game. He went out for a while, and I think that's what Kev was talking about. So he had a chance to play as a starting quarterback for a little bit, but then Tua came back and had a lot of success again. So to get injured right before the playoffs, it's hard to get that kind of momentum, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well,
so
also they also had Terry Bridgewater too. So Terry Bridgewater's the original backup, but he injured his pinky on his throwing hand. So this is the
third guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
yeah, not surprised, but good effort. I want to see what they can do next year. Hopefully Tua can just rest, and maybe he still wants to play football next year. But if he does, I think he'll be a great quarterback. Okay. Good forward-looking team. I feel good about the team moving forward. For once.
Okay. Are you a Miami fan now?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
He said you don't know.
Are you a Miami fan?
There's 3 teams from Florida in there right now. Bucks, Jaguars, my Dolphins, they doing this thing, but I got my eye on Cowboys, man.
So you a Cowboys fan?
We'll see, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna need you. This guy here. This guy is
I'm not an NFL guy like that, man. I just really enjoy watching the games. I like, you know how Kev says you can watch it and not be invested. I kind of like that. I don't want to have that. I don't want my heart on the table.
Hey man, I'm gonna need you to pick a side, man. You got 3 teams from your home state. Pick a side, man. Pick a side. You want North, Middle, or South?
Oh, it will be like the Dolphins, 49ers, Oakland if they would have stayed. I don't know who else.
Cowboys. All right, cool.
Cowboys on the table. It's on the table.
So, all right, Kev, man, how do you feel, and what you think about Josh Allen winning Super Bowl before Joe Burrow? You think that's gonna happen?
I think that's likely. No offense to Joe Burrow to say that easily, but I've seen more of Bills play than I have of Joe Burrow, and from what I've seen, it's been impressive. And Bills have been a team to contend with for a couple years now. So I'll go that way. To speak about the game though, I didn't really get a chance to watch the full game because I saw what the score was when I woke up. It was an early game. It was like 10 a.m.
First game of Sunday.
Pacific. I was like, nah.
He said, nah.
I was still planning to check in, but when I checked in and I saw it was 17 zip, I was like, okay, I know what's gonna happen because they already came in as being the underdogs. So it looked like what you expected and what it was gonna be was just a blow up. It came into the tail end and saw what the score was like. Whoa, what happened in here? So that got me a little nervous about Bills and what they can do going forward. Like, why did they let this team, who wasn't supposed to give them any trouble, give them this much trouble? So it's a bit concerning there, but I think they learn from this experience, tighten up, and do better going forward.
I agree with what you said too. I think the quarterbacks, they're both two young, good quarterbacks, but I feel like the Bills are a better team, and they've been clicking for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. But Joe Burrow has been to the Super Bowl already, so.
That's true, but I mean, for you to have continued success, I think the Bills have been in the playoffs, the last 3 seasons? So I think that means your franchise is, your franchise is doing some things right.
Okay. All right. Deuce, how do you feel? Are you team Josh Allen, or are you still,
It's something about Josh Allen, man. It's just something about him that's just, it makes you want to root for him, right? I mean, Burrow has been to the Super Bowl. It had a good showing. He wasn't a chump. Reggie's point, man, the Bills just seem to be building on something, right? They shouldn't have had that much problems with the Dolphins in the third string. Dolphins do have other go-getters on that team. If I had to put my bet down on somebody, man, I'm gonna put it down on Josh Allen. And right now, it's just like the eye test, man. He plays. Granted, this season he had the weirdest red zone turnover bug bite him. It still isn't completely resolved. I don't know what that's about. But I'm still gonna put my money on Josh, man. I just seems like a better pick right now. Joe might make me eat my words later, but right now I'm gonna ride with Josh.
Shout out to Joe, what he was doing with that offensive line against the Rams. That he was on his.
You talking about last year?
That's the thing too. Like, what did they do to help him out?
Yeah.
They gave him some more linemen. That's why he's not getting sacked like he was last year.
Yeah.
That's all they needed.
Yeah. They had no O-line last year.
Yeah. So this is why I say Joe Burrow. Josh Allen, nothing against him. I do like Josh Allen. I do think he's a heck of an athlete. Dude's tall, big, can throw the ball, has a cannon, doesn't mind sacrificing his body. All the things you probably want in a new age quarterback for what we see. But we've seen Joe Burrow take a team, beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice, now 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row, right? Yeah, 3 times in a row since he's since last year, right? And that includes the AFC Championship, knocked them out. As he continues to get sacked, because he's gotten sacked so many times, like at least 5 times a game in the playoffs, and he's still able to make the game close and still able to stay in the pocket and deliver. He has two number 1 receivers in Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He also has Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, P. Ryan. He has enough weapons to score. His defense is good enough, right? Like, they're not elite, but they're really above average, right? To hold their own. And Joe Burrow's been doing the same thing he's been doing last year, only the same thing he's been doing last year. Now he has a better O-line. So that team, that core, they can keep that core together for like a good 2 or 3 years before you have to start putting big money on the table to keep them. But I do think Joe Burrow is going to win Super Bowl before Josh Allen, only because Josh Allen, it would have to be this year, meaning they've been in it, like I said, 2-3 times, right? It's more the same core. they're struggling with the Dolphins. So Dolphins without Tua, which is problematic, right? So I won't say it's problematic. It's alarming. I mean, like I said, it's a divisional matchup. So I mean, division opponents always kind of give you a little bit of a trouble, a little bit of a mix. But you know, again, if you're going to be this top tier team, you know, I would think that you would be able to handle your divisional rivals with, I don't want to say with ease, but with enough of a cushion to where it's like not a fourth quarter. Will they? Won't they? Right? So because if they lost that game, now it's like, oh my gosh, Josh Allen. What we gonna really start talking about how questionable Josh Allen is in big moments. So you know, like I said, the game was actually closer than it should have been. They let the Dolphins get back into the game. I don't want to say the Dolphins fought their way back into the game. They made it a very tough out, and you know, kudos to Dolphins, even though they didn't have their main guy. And I think I believe that the Dolphins beat the Bills twice this season with Tua. So they're not even as good, like definitively as good in the division. They just kind of had a, you know, I don't want to say lucky, but the cards fell in a way that they didn't have to go against Tua for a third time. And, you know, that's kind of where the cards fell, and they capitalized on it. So, you know, it was a good game. It started off really good. They slowed up. They came back down to earth towards, you know, the middle of the game, and then the end of the game, they were able to throw up some touchdowns to kind of pull away and kind of keep them away at arm's length. So, you know, kudos to the Bills. So I just don't know how you're gonna make it out this AFC gauntlet. You know, you still got the Chiefs. You still have man, the Bengals there. So I don't know. That's kind of, I don't have that much confidence in the Bills making it to the Super Bowl, at least this year. So, and this
especially
is
with Von Miller out.
With Von Miller out, I can't see it.
Oh yeah.
So
they're playing next, right? Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Do they play next? They may play next.
They play in the divisional.
They play the Bengals.
Yep. So we'll find out real soon.
Yep. So, and then the Kansas City Chiefs play the Jags. So that's that. And then so let's move on to the next game that came up bad. This is the game I probably didn't watch that much, if at all, because I didn't know it was even on. The Giants versus the Vikings. I don't know what happened, but just to surmise it, Vikings did Vikings things, Giants did Giants things this year. Danny Dimes was consistent. Saquon Barkley was elite running back that we expected him to be, and the Vikings was fool's gold, at least to my estimation, man. Do y'all think that my estimation of the Vikings holds true? Do you think they are fool's gold, Deuce?
You know, it's to me, the Vikings comes down to how much you trust Kirk Cousins. And he's a good quarterback. I'm not taking anything from the man, but whenever the pressure or the stakes are high, Monday Night Football thing. I mean, 1 off, 2 offs, it happens, but this is a trend, man. He holds the record for the first Monday Night Football record. And there was something the Skins saw. Let me not say that. The Commanders saw. But then let me not say that again, because I don't want to say I have faith in anything that the Commanders do. Let me let him go. So I was about to shoot my whole argument in the foot. Just answer your question, man. Like, it's something about Cousins. I really need to watch him to see what it is, but I think we've all seen the ceiling. And unfortunately, seen it again. I don't think there's anything past this.
Okay.
So as long as they have him, maybe that's not the system for him. Maybe they have like who was the quarterback before Kaepernick for the Niners? Alex
Smith.
Smith, and he went to KC, a better run. Maybe Cousins used to go on to his third team. I'm not sure, but we've seen the ceiling, man.
Maybe they should trade for Jared Goff.
Multiple times. Yeah.
Just swapping the bad quarterbacks around.
No, Jared Goff was. Did you see him this season? He was great. He was way better than the guy who he replaced. So, anywho.
Oh, come on, bro. Like,
Rich.
Who won the Super Bowl?
Rich.
Who won the Super Bowl?
Is a Vikings full goal or no? Vikings full goal.
I don't think there are any gold. I mean, this is not even the best squad that we've seen in a minute. I feel like when Diggs was there, that was a better Vikings team than. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Okay. Well, they do have Justin Jefferson in there. They still have Adam Thielen. They still have Dalvin Cook. And okay, all right. So you said they were.
Is not. Felt like that was a better squad when they had their playoff run when Diggs was there.
Okay. All right. Well, who was their quarterback?
Wasn't it dude that Kurt was championing?
Matthew Stafford? Oh, you know what?
Wait, with the Vikings?
I don't think he played for the Vikings, but I mean, it could have been. Could have been. We don't know. We gotta look it up.
We don't care.
We gotta look it up. It is okay.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, so they're forgetful.
It wasn't Kirk. It wasn't Kirk Cousins.
No, Kirk Cousins was in Washington.
This Vikings team I seen this years ago. That was a Brett Favre, eons ago.
I want to say Sam. Was this?
No, don't worry about it. Sam Darnold was in the Jets.
Was it?
Bro, y'all really trying. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Obviously, they were not the best team because Reggie don't even remember the guy. So
I didn't say they was the best team. They wasn't the best team then either.
Or better team than this year.
Yeah, it's still a better team this year.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins stands out to you just because we know it's Kirk Cousins. We be like, oh yeah, it's Kirk Cousins. Is that what we doing now?
Well, I'm just saying, like, yo, either you got to do some accomplishment in order for you to get a name that sticks.
The Case Keenum?
Case Keenum may be it. Yeah, that sounds like a name.
What year was this? Because Case Keenum and Sam Bradford split 2017. Then Sam Bradford and Sean Hill split 20. I forgot about Sam Bradford, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, but
I thought I said Sam Bradford. Yeah, I was like, no, it wasn't him.
I was about to say Sam Darnold because you said Sam and you were kind of like struggling to.
No, I said Sam Bradford. Oh well, maybe I didn't get it out, but I was thinking Sam Bradford.
Okay, Sam Bradford.
It looks like the face too when I saw it, but I was just like, I don't know.
Okay. All right. That's cool, man. I was just curious. I just wanted to know who was a better team. Who was a better team between now and when Stephon Diggs was there. I mean, it's cool, man. Only Justin Jefferson like leading the league in all the receptions. But that's cool. All right.
I mean, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But the team still ain't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. All right. So, Kev, man, what do you think, man? What's your take on this game and this team?
Like how Red said it, man. I don't think they go anything, because we've talked about this Jekyll and Hyde when it came to that team this season. So I don't think inconsistencies like that is gonna put you as a favorite to continue progressing, or maybe there's some gaps that we see that could be filled. But I don't know enough about this team to get into the technical details. But are they fool's gold? I guess I would say yes. They show us glimpses of moments where they can be a great team, and other times it's like, what's happening? We're not sure. And to me, that's not the mark of a champion. That's not the mark of a franchise. I like to see how the organization is doing consistently, even when your pieces are out. We've talked about other teams that have been maintaining their success, even with pieces moving around. And I won't say the Vikings are doing that right now. So the Giants, 6 seed, does seed play a big role in the NFL as it does like in the NBA? There was a 3rd seed against the 6 seed in this game against the Giants, and I think the Giants were considered the underdog in this game. I don't think anyone expected them to come up with it.
Good question. Seeding matters, obviously, right? Home field advantage always matters. The Vikings were favored because of the fact that they can score as well in high volume. I believe they also had like that big comeback, like 30-something point comeback a few weeks ago.
In the season.
Yeah, I think it was doing Thanksgiving.
It's Matty Ice.
Oh, the Colts.
The Ice gave up the largest comeback in the playoffs and the regular season.
Yeah, regular season.
I guess in a way it matters more than even, of course, because you have to communicate, especially play calling on the offense, and if when the defense is on the field, if the fans are really loud, and make it a little cool. If you can't handle that, so that's why the 13th man in the Seattle Boom or whatever was such a big deal. So I guess it does.
Yeah. Also the environment,
weather conditions.
Yeah, the
weather
environment
conditions
can kind of get into it. I'll get into some how things are.
I can see that.
Yeah, carried out. So yeah, I think it would matter. So, but yeah,
they lost to the Giants, 6 seed, home court.
Yeah,
but the Giants were still good. It's not just because they were 6 seed. They were 6 seed because of their division was really strong.
Yeah,
so that's how they felt at 6 seed. Not because
that's why because I know when I try to figure out how to even make the brackets and get these games again, I was looking it up. I was like, it's so complicated. It's not complicated, but they break it up into these 4 divisions, and then basically rank.
You win your division. So yeah.
So okay.
That's all it was.
Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, the fool's gold thing is a thing. I don't know if you even want to call them gold at all. But again, that's because of the fact that either you can get tricked into thinking that they're a good team, a really good team, until they disappoint you, and they
can have some good games.
They got some really good games.
Pieces.
Mm-hmm.
They got good pieces.
Yeah.
You said leads in rushing receptions or touchdown?
Receptions. You talking about Justin?
Yeah.
I think it's yards. The dude would have like 200 yards in a couple of games. Like the dude was just like getting. I don't know what his touchdown stat is as far as like.
But he's making big plays.
He's making big plays,
obviously. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. So
you can have all that and still not be a great team.
True. It's just like I said, they're able to put up points, and that's kind of like the thing that they've used to hide the rest of their abilities and stuff. So, or lack thereof. But they always had a puncher's chance. And then it was against the Giants. The Giants, this first year, Daniel Jones was in the playoffs. It's the first year that Saquon Barkley's actually been healthy outside of his rookie season. So, it was, I think, the first year of the coach. I forget the coach's name. So, like, there's a lot of firsts. And so,
nothing was guaranteed. Yeah.
No one really understood how that was going to play out. And, I mean, it played out okay. Daniel Jones had 2 touchdowns? 3 touchdowns or something like that. And, I mean, they held their own. They kind of were what the New York Giants have been all season, which has been kind of steady and consistent, and a hard out stuff like that, hard competitive matchup. So it is what it is. But I agree. Like they probably are not as advertised, I would say. So all right, so let's move on, man, to the next 2. The last one of the night, Sunday night, was the Bengals and the Ravens, man. The Bengals and the Ravens, again, another divisional just matchup where they know each other's tricks. And this was a slow burn game. I mean, it was just kind of hard to really get a leg up on one another. And, Lamar Jackson didn't play. So it was Huntley in the starting position for quarterback. And like I said, they were still able to put up points. I mean, I guess he did probably the best you could do. And the only real turning point as far as like the score was the fumble that he did at the goal line, trying to sneak it over the goal line where someone knocked it out, and then a defensive lineman picked it up, ran in for 92 yards. 92 yards or 98 yards? A lot of yards.
Yeah, it's about 92 yards.
Yeah, 98. Let's just say 98. That sounds like a good round number.
It's close to 90. But yeah, he did run it back.
And that was the difference between the game. The game was 16-24, 17-24. That was the only difference, right? So yeah, they didn't have Lamar Jackson, who many would think that is probably the franchise player, and due to injury, obviously. But there's also a contract thing. So a bigger question, man. They have tired this Huntley guy, and he's okay. Like he's kind of a same kind of profile prototype as Lamar Jackson. So do they have to spend that money on Lamar Jackson? What's going to happen to Lamar Jackson? That's really the question that I kind of want to get at, man. I mean, also you talk about the game too, what your thoughts on the game was. And so yeah, we can just start off with Reg, man. What you think about Lamar? Like, what's going to happen to him and the game in general?
I mean, the game in general, that's gotta hurt. Y'all at the goal line, y'all turned it over, and it turns into a touchdown going the other way, and that's exactly by how much y'all lose by it. That can't feel good. That can't feel good. That sums up the game. There wasn't a lot. It wasn't a very high scoring game, so the points that happened really mattered, and that was a gift sent the other way. And I'm sure it changed the tempo of the game as well. Lamar Jackson, I feel like he deserves the money, but I mean, you say at least in this game, the guy behind him didn't have a great game. So to me, Lamar has earned the money. MVP, what was it, 3 seasons ago now? And whenever he's been healthy, he's been pretty good. It was disappointing, what was it, last season or so, when they didn't even make the playoffs or they didn't get very far, but he ended up losing to Pat Mahomes. That happens. So yeah. I like Lamar. I think he deserves it. I'll just say that. I don't even understand why we went this far without him being paid to be.
Well,
I just don't get it. Like, I mean, in terms of like what's gonna happen, like we've seen it before. It can turn around. So we've seen it with like DeAndre Ayton in the NBA. You wait, you let them get sour. But DeAndre Ayton seems to be engaged in playing despite whatever issues they had in the offseason. So maybe that's what they're standing by. Like, business is business, but at the end of the day, the players will play. Maybe that's what they're leaning on, but I feel like Lamar Ben deserved it.
Okay. All right.
We just talked about Ayton right now. That's not a...
Yeah.
It sounds not it's not a good reference.
He's a little disgruntled right now, but it's okay. He's still playing. He's still performing or trying to. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's engaged. Like, just like how Green and Poole had their falling out. Like, they're not. It's not showing on the court like, oh, he's not playing because he's still mad about that. He may still be disgruntled. He still may feel that way, but when he's on the court, I feel like he's putting in the effort.
But guess what? It's not translating into W's. And right now, that's a problem. And Lamar Jackson, I think, is the same thing. I don't think. Yes, I think he should get paid. I like him. I'm a fan. Sad to see that he wasn't able to, due to the injuries, not play in these playoffs. But if you can get a quarterback that can fit into your system and be okay for a lesser, and then surround him with great talent, I think money-wise that may be a good decision. So I think it's going to be up to the business move at this point on whether or not he gets his cut. Do they need to pay out as much to get Lamar Jackson to make it to the next step, to make it to where they want to go? Maybe not. And I think that's where the question lies.
Do you feel like he's been putting up, like, maybe he's not as good as Lamar? You said, like, this last game he had 2 touchdowns and interceptions, not a great sample size, but the time that he's been out, you felt like he's been good enough? I can't definitively say yes.
Okay.
I can't definitively say yes, but he's not bad. And it goes back to that. If I do pay Lamar, going into these contracts, what can I surround him with in order for him to get to where he wants to be? And will I have enough funds to do so?
And you'll probably have less more rather than more, because if you pay him next season when you're making cuts, it's gonna have to be deeper cuts than you had to this season. Right. I get that, but like, when I think about 49ers, when we say Brock Purdy's been doing his thing, Trey Lance hasn't had a ton of time to play, and Jimmy G already ran his course, so that one's easy for me to say, you know what, Brock Purdy could go in there and doing his thing right now. It's not a big deal. It's not a big gap. But for Lamar, I've seen he was an MVP candidate. So that's just, for me, that was one season and that was a little bit ago. That's what the bar is set. Is that guy at that level? I don't know.
That's true, but that's the problem too. For me, it was that one season, and
yeah,
what was it? Injuries he was playing by? I don't know. Just situational. I was rooting for him, man. I was behind him. I hate to sit here and say anything bad, but it's a business at the end of the day. So that's where I think is gonna really boil down to is that business decision and what you really want to do next. Not taking away anything from him. He got the talent. He deserved to be paid, but do they need it? And is that the direction they're gonna want to go in?
So Mara reminds me a lot of Newton, man. We talk about MVP season, where the Panthers rolled Cam to the Super Bowl, and just the punishment that he had to endure to drag that team to the Super Bowl, man. And then what the Broncos defense did to him after that punishment, he was never the same after that.
He's downhill, never recovered.
Downhill, man. It was a physical beating, unlike none other. And Cam, Lamar is kind of like of the same ilk. He can throw the ball, his accuracy is okay, but overall, he's a physical specimen. He makes defenses second guess all the time. So the question then becomes, can you build your offense around a person like that with having highly talented people in the skill positions? Because I even think that year that Cam went, I want to say, I'm not sure, but I want to say Steve Smith was still on that team. I want to say he was. I don't know. I have to check. But as if you pay Lamar, look at what Aaron Rodgers had to work with. You guys kind of mentioned that. Look at Russ. I think is a prime example. Rodgers could still spread the ball, throw the ball. Russ, we found out from what it seems, at least this year, is a system quarterback, something they always accused Tom of, and I think he kind of debunked that winning the Tampa Bay, right? You can never take that Super Bowl away from him.
Yeah.
So I think, to your point, Lamar, Ravens built the system around Lamar. As you pay him, you're going to lose crucial pieces of that system. You have to downgrade his skills in there.
Yeah.
Is it a sustainable system? He's becoming more and more injury prone as he goes older and gets more hits. And I'm looking at this article here that's saying his numbers have been on the decline since the MVP season. And I think that's what the Ravens are having a hard look at. Like, yeah, he's famous, fan favorite. I love to see Lamar. I would pay to see Lamar play. Is that sustainable? I.e. Cam Newton.
Yeah, maybe not for that team, but I feel like you take that same quarterback and his skill set where he is right now and put him in a different division. Playoff success right there.
Maybe.
That's just
a playoff success.
Yeah.
Playoff success, sure.
Yeah.
How you feel, Chris?
Well, first of all, the game was really good. I did enjoy the game. I always enjoy watching the Ravens play because they always play hard, almost similar to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And just again, that division in general is always hard nosed. So I just thought about saying that. Congrats to hats off to John Harbaugh, even Tyler Huntley. He did play well considering he was a backup, considering the situation that he was in. He was still making some good throws, a few good throws and things like that. 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. No, fine, whatever. He's 0-1 in the playoffs. Who is it? Is it Lamar? Lamar, who's like 0-3, something like that. I remember someone said something like that. 1-4. 1-4. So I mean, Lamar Jackson hasn't really had a stellar winning record in the playoffs either. And again, that could be more so of the type of offense that they play, and just kind of how that carries over for the playoffs.
To your point earlier, man, Joe went to the Super Bowl on his back because he was getting sacked so much.
He did. Yeah. Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. You're right. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think that's super fair to say, especially in terms of like a pocket quarterback. Like, Lamar has the run game and everything that can add to his game, but in terms of being a quarterback,
yeah. So,
Joe Burrow has shown that he can do it.
Yeah. So I mean, what is going to happen to Lamar? I hope they pay him. I would think that would be what's owed to him in a sense of like what he's giving you guys for 3-4 years under a rookie contract. And I mean, he's still at the very least, he may have been dropping in his stats since the MVP season, but number one, he's had an MVP season. Number two, he's probably still like 90 to 95% of the same guy. Like he's not like on this downturn where he's becoming this shell of himself. So I mean, even the last year,
26. He's only 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I'm just saying, like even last year, I think last year was a year where he went out, he was injured, he came back, and he closed out the game, and they were down. I think that was last year that he did that. So what are they gonna do with him? I hope they pay him, but with how they're playing with this, I think Lamar is trying to now sway his options, and like I hope they don't franchise tag him and do all that nonsense. But if you're not gonna pay him, then let him go or trade him. Send him someplace to where they appreciate it. I'm sure the Raiders would love to have a quarterback who isn't, throwing the ball to the other team or doing other nonsensical things. Or even Houston, Texas, David Mills. No one even knows what he does. But I mean, I don't want him to go to Houston, Texas either, because like that whole organization is just ill. But
I don't want to go to the Raiders either, man. Josh McDaniels. I mean, he. Granted, Carr was not a top tier quarterback, but I think it's just ironic he had his worst career numbers. This coach took over. It's something to think about.
Well, I never thought he was a good quarterback in the first place. I mean, he's good as far as talent, but he's not good as far as like
decent
execution and winning games and like being that catalyst for your franchise. But my point is that like at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson, I think, deserves whatever money that he's probably asking for. I'm sure he deserves it. Aside from Mark Andrews and
he might have to go
defense,
get it somewhere else.
I don't know. But the offense ain't even J.K. Dobbins. Are you saving your money for J.K. Dobson? Are you saving your money for Kenyon Drake? Are you saving? They don't have no receivers. Who you saving the money for? That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, it's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers offense thing. Like, you have a bunch of people, and then you have Aaron Rodgers, and he makes everyone else look good or look good enough to like be successful. And that's what I think Lamar Jackson does for this Ravens team. And maybe that's the reason why they hit their ceiling, or people may think they hit their ceiling. But at the end
I don't know.
of the
That division's only gonna be tougher next season because Browns had all that quarterback drama.
Yeah.
If any one of those quarterbacks shake out to be good, especially the main guy that they paid, then
exactly
this is going to be a tougher division. And I don't think Steelers are going to struggle as much as they did that. I'm sure figure some things out, get some experience on the quarterback. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you have two teams who have franchise quarterbacks right now: Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow. The other one is Steelers, who's never had a losing season.
Yeah.
So good luck on trying to make it to the playoffs with three actual tough opponents. If you decide to part ways with Lamar Jackson. So I don't know. Like, I hope they'll pay him. I think they'll pay him. They're just playing hardball.
I think they're gonna franchise him, man. Why haven't you paid him already? I think they're gonna franchise him,
bro. Yeah. I'll be injured. I'll be like, bro, remember that thing, that MCL sprain? I still got it.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Ow, that hurts. So
you ever heard of Kawhi Leonard? No. All right.
Ultimate flex. So
do you think any of this has to do with the fact that he hasn't retained an agent?
That could be part of it too. Because you can't really tell a person to their face that they didn't perform, because like they can go back and say, yeah, I did this, I remember that game and this is what happened. Oh, you mean because the coach didn't call this play, so I didn't get a chance to do X, Y, and Z, or whatever. Oh, this play here when the coach said this and I changed it and this is the results of it. Y'all are not gonna take that into consideration. These are all the intangibles that I can bring to the table. But again, it's always harder to represent yourself because agents have the lingo and the network and the relationships to
experience
and the experience. Yeah. So they have all that. So it's really hard to say that they don't have a value and to say, oh, I can do that, because there's a lot of the, like I said before, the intangibles that you just probably not privy to. And so like when you're doing the negotiation, you're at that table, it's kind of harder to kind of brush up on something like that and ramp up to become polished enough to represent yourself. But
well, they said he utilized But we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, we definitely will see. But you know, that's my take on Lamar, man. So good luck to him. Hopefully he gets what he deserves.
That's sure. Good luck to him.
Yeah, for sure. You covering Bucks as well?
Yeah, man. Last one, man. The Bucks and the Cowboys. Bucks. I don't know what they were doing. They were doing some. They barely scored a touchdown. They made the Cowboys look like they were the freaking America's team. So
You know it.
So someone asks, is this what people want to see? America's favorite quarterback versus America's GOAT versus America's team? Is that even true? Do y'all even believe in that?
That's the question.
Ooh, I mean, GOAT. I think the question was America's team versus America's favorite quarterback. Because I feel like GOAT, I can give him that.
Yeah.
I could put that tag. I could put the tag on him and feel comfortable.
Okay. All right.
You don't feel that way?
No. But you know, I'm also
he's not in the conversation.
No. You could be in the conversation. That's fine. It's still
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all right.
But
Like, let me ask you a different question. Do you feel like Dallas being America's team? Do you feel like that's in the conversation?
no.
No.
Okay,
That's a marketing strategy.
That's the point I was trying to make. So
Okay.
for Tom Brady, if y'all want to say GOAT, but I still don't think he's America's quarterback. I don't think he's the favorite quarterback in America.
Who's America's favorite quarterback?
I'm
I
curious.
feel like a lot of people feel like Rodgers, especially before
I
that
don't
whole.
think they like him after this past offseason.
Yeah, I was gonna say before that whole debacle with the I'm immunized and the past off season, I feel like his standings have kind of fall. But like that's who I think of when I think about likable quarterbacks.
Gotcha. Okay. Not Mahomes.
I'd say Mahomes.
He's very well liked as well.
Yeah.
Mahomes.
He's coming to take that place to replace that. But you got to replace somebody, so somebody has it right. You know.
Mm-hmm. So okay. Do you believe that Deuce? You believe that's America's team and America's favorite quarterback, and it's these two entities, Tom Brady, TB12, and I can tell you this, man. The referees love Tom Brady until this year. But yeah, go ahead.
I believe that yes, those are titles. What you just said are titles, and yes, I do believe that Dallas Cowboys, they're a team, and that Tom Brady is a quarterback.
They're a team in America. Is that what you're saying on the record?
Those are titles, and these are teams and players.
Oh my God! This is not congressional hearing. Bro.
America's team, man. The Cowboys have not been America's team for a very long time.
Very long.
Very long time. Yeah. I don't even think our listening audience even remembers the time when the Cowboys were America's team. Tom Brady being America's quarterback, he's in the conversation, man. I don't think people hate Brady. You know, I think if they do it, they hate him for winning. Comes to the territory. Is he washed? Is he the washed king? Don't know. But he's in the conversation for America's quarterback, man. I think.
Okay.
Especially with him being at the tail end of his career. Let's hope he doesn't Brett Favre's.
He only did it once. He only got to do it 3 more times. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the post career situation.
After Green Bay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Jets and then the Vikings. Because people forget about the Jet years. Year.
Mm-hmm. So okay, all right. How do you feel about this, Kev? Is this a thing?
It's hard for me to say yes to the Dallas Cowboys situation, but I know growing up, not really being a big fan of football in the early years, more of a basketball fan. Cowboys was that team that was being, advertised and shown, and when you thought football, you thought Dallas Cowboys. So at one point, yes, they were. Was it really long time ago? Yes, that's also true. With the Tom Brady situation, I feel like that's an easy yes, but like y'all brought up, Mahomes, and I say, yeah, Mahomes is coming up. He's probably already up there. It's not like he's coming up and needs to go any further. He's already up there, but it's almost like we're sharing the stage now, but I'm on my way out, but I'm just not, I don't want to let go kind of situation. but that doesn't change the fact that he's been in the top for a long time. He's performed, even with all the controversy, he still has shown to be a successful quarterback. I mean, he moved from Patriots to Tampa Bay, and he showed y'all again. I think that was the closing statement right there, where he's like, "All right, you don't think so? All right, let me show you," and then he showed you.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, I mean, he's not my favorite, but I mean, I get what you're saying as far as like him being in. I mean, he's been playing for what, 20 years or so. He's 43 years old. He's, all of his peers have retired. So yeah. I mean, it is him. He has the longest tenure in the NFL that is, still a starting quarterback and has some relevance. And stuff.
It's him and Rodgers, right?
Him and Rodgers, yeah.
Yeah. That's how I see it.
And he has more rings than all of his peers. So he beat the field. Now how he did it, that's different. That's another story. I don't want to get into the details about that, but he did it, and nonetheless, you can't take it away from him. And so yeah, I mean, if you wanna give that his title, I'm not gonna be upset, but it's not my quarterback. Just say it like that. Not my quarterback.
I felt like even today, outside of the Tom Brady thing, but with the Cowboys, now when I hear America's favorite team, is very tongue in cheek. Like, it's a mocking way.
Yeah, it's a marketing tagline.
It's our year. Like, it's like jokes on them when you hear it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I can agree on that too. I don't think anyone ever takes it seriously, but unless you're a Cowboys fan, you take it very seriously. So it seems like it's an inside joke that no one knows the joke's on them. So
we all in on the joke.
So yeah. So what's next for Brady, man? That's a real question. Anyone?
I heard Dolphins rumors, but who knows?
Okay.
Man, he can't go out there. He can't just go out there like that. Yeah, I don't think that makes sense, to be honest. But I mean, maybe they just like, yo, I don't know about the PTE thing. You got a couple of those. I don't know what they're planning, what they're thinking, but I just know Tom Brady can't have a season like he just. If that's what he came back for, he need to just retire.
That's what I'm thinking. He gave up a lot for this, right?
Yeah, he gave up everything. He could have been making money, commentating. He could have been enjoying time with his kids. Maybe he could have focused on repairing if he wanted to. I don't know where they was at. It is a lot of things that he could have put that time and effort into, rather than putting a blemish on a pretty good career.
Okay. Hey, I don't know what he's gonna do. Should he come back? I mean, it's always obviously up to him, and any team will take him. But I always ask, like, what more do you really have to prove at this point? And
$370 million, bro.
Okay,
that?
I'm sure he's set for life as far as salary. So
he is, but the TV deal gives him even more money.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what you're saying. I thought you said he's coming back. Like, he's coming back.
No.
My bad.
That deal is still there though, so I think that's why he operated that way. He's just like, oh, and whenever I'm finished, he's like, maybe I'm not finished. Let's see.
Yep.
It's like, I'm CB12. Brady's like, wow, I could get even skinnier and come back and play next year.
So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a lot to put up with just to come back to the Tampa Bay team. Obviously, but Miami's not going to give up their future for Tom Brady. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know why it's a rumor. It's just
Yeah, it would be a team that's set and needs a quarterback, man.
The Raiders.
If Tua didn't have the season he had,
yeah.
Tyreek Hill, that would be a great combo, but I don't see the need.
Yeah.
But Tom want to leave Florida at this point too, you know. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. But I guess we'll definitely see. Anything else y'all want to add on this Brady? This game? This game was kind of like the weakest one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was.
No one wants to watch the Cowboys, even when they win.
It was an appropriate finish.
I was saying, Chris, you don't want to watch Dak Prescott?
Nope. It does not impress me at all.
I feel like the finish of the playoffs for the Bucks was very appropriate for how their season went. Like they shouldn't even been in the playoffs. They had one of the worst. They probably had the worst record of a team in the playoffs. They were below 500.
They were below 500. So you can't talk to me about NBA play-in honoring or giving awards to losing teams when you can literally have a losing record and you get into the NFL playoffs. So because your division is that trash.
I would have rather seen the Lions take that spot.
Or the Steelers. They went on to 8.
Yeah.
And they were the better seed. Crazy over the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of division. That's the rules of how you play. So so anyways. All right.
I want to be retired though. I wouldn't be mad if he retired. It's like I'm
You're over him. You're over him. I know.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm over him too. I'm tired of seeing the same old thing. Change the
Or
channel.
maybe that's what that's what he's not over. He just wants to dominate the headlines. He wants to be the talk of the town. Maybe he's one of those guys can't just. I'm out. Just punch your clock one last time.
Join Twitter.
Yeah.
Join Twitter.
we got so many other quarterbacks to talk about.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy. It's like
Yeah.
so many other highlights and headlines.
Yep. So, all right, man. Let's go ahead and close this up, man. It's kind of getting long in the tooth, actually. So, we'll just go ahead and do the sign. I'll start with the sign off, man. Rich, what you got?
Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the first round of the playoffs, the wild card round, and then just see how it goes from here.
Sure.
Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Cool. Kev, what you got?
As always, appreciate y'all rocking with us. Know your time is valuable, so we like when you spend it with us. Like my boy just said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Before I go, Chris, who you got? Niners all the way?
Oh, yeah.
All the way.
100%.
Let's go.
Guarantee, you gonna get the guarantee?
Guarantee.
You gonna hit the guarantee?
Guarantee.
Oh, hit the guarantee button.
We're gonna have a 49ers, parade party to watch the parade, here. So go ahead, book it.
Okay, get that access to your jersey ready, man.
I know, right?
It's already in the queue.
Gotcha.
So, any other questions, Kev?
Nah, that was it. I wanted to get it on the record. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
I wanted
You
to
gonna cut out the guarantee? Watch.
No. No, I would never do that. So, Deuce, man, what you got, man?
Hey, we talked about the GOAT, man. I want to talk about somebody that had a GOAT-like season. All right, so here's your quiz. What receiver led the league in yards and attempts while operating in the bottom 5 NFL passing attack?
Randy Moss.
Attempts, bro? Randy? No.
Megatron.
Wait, I'm trying.
I like that, but no.
Hold on. He said
It's a big guess.
they operated in the worst offensive passing attack, and they were leading
Led the league
in
in yards and attempts.
what is it, like receptions?
Yeah. Receptions. and
Receptions.
yards.
Okay, he said attempts.
Not targets.
Okay,
Not targets. It's actual receptions.
receptions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. What a bad passing attack.
I like the Megatron one.
That sounds like Chicago. Sounds like a Chicago team. Ooh,
A team further east.
further east. Pittsburgh?
I mentioned them in this pod. Passing.
Oh, I was about to say Santana, so not.
Attempt. I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, Cruz. Not
yards.
Cruz.
I don't know,
Is it
man.
Santana?
It's in the Moss.
Yeah, I meant to say Cruz, Victor Cruz. I don't know why I got, but that's not it either. So you're gonna have to hit us with that one. You stumped.
Stephon Diggs? I don't know. No, that was Rich who said that. I don't know, bro.
Steve Smith, bro.
Who?
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith.
With Jake Delhomme as his quarterback.
He played on Carolina?
Hmm?
Oh, okay. I guess why. I can see why no one watched him.
Yeah, I just
Like Steve Smith is good. The Carolinas have been trash for. If it wasn't for Cam Newton, they probably would have moved to another city. But no one
they
watched
were
that team.
they definitely were relevant.
The last time they were irrelevant, we went to the Super Bowl with D'Angelo Williams, and that was it. And they lost to the
I like
Ravens.
D'Angelo Williams, man.
That was the last time. No
That
one
was
talks
Jake
about.
DeLong that took him to the Super Bowl, though.
Was it?
Brother, wait, was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that darn team.
Yeah,
I just remember
so
D'Angelo
memorable.
Williams. That was it.
That was a good factoid, man. It's good to have you back.
Yeah, man. I'm glad I learned something today. So good job.
I mean, I don't really like what I learned, but it was a good quiz.
Oh man, you gotta go to your fellow politicians,
he's up
man.
For the Hall of Fame. He's up for the Hall of Fame this year, man. So it came up on one of his
Williams?
little known facts.
Steve Smith,
Oh,
probably.
Steve Smith. Oh yeah, Steve Smith was a
Jake DeLong.
beast. Yeah, he was a
It's
beast.
just, he was a very underrated receiver, man. He was
Yeah.
with the Ravens. He was still dangerous.
Yep. So cool. Anything else you want to add on there? Or is that it?
That's it.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'll let this go, man. I appreciate everyone who stayed in and stuck with us. Like I said, this is a long episode. Let us know how you feel about these wild card weekend. Let us know about whatever you feel about coming up this weekend for the second round of divisional playoffs for the NFL. Let us know about all the questions, the follow-up questions that we had about all of these key points here. So keep us informed. Like I said, if you like what you heard, follow, subscribe, tell a friend, comment on the video, tell us how you feel, and share your thoughts, man. And we'll be more than happy to respond with in kind. So again, we're here every Wednesday. Check us out on IG, check us out on Twitter, check us out on Reddit, all that stuff. Check us out on Discord. So yeah, like I said, we're here every Wednesday. So until next Wednesday, man, we'll hit y'all with the deuces later.
Peace.